All right, Keisha, come here. Hey, sweetie, come on up. There we go. Yeah, Mr. Chris Chan, absolutely. Go ahead and send me a private message. You guys can all feel free to private message me on Twitch. I'm always happy to get messages from fellow game devs, from fans, from anybody. I'm generally happy. If I take time to get back to you, I apologize, but I do try to respond to all of the messages that I get. All right, let's get back into it. We've taken our break. I'm gonna unpause this, or I'm gonna pause it. There we go. I wonder if I can put those on YouTube. Those songs, that music. What did I say to make everybody think that I would be posting dick pics? Holy hell, you guys. Holy hell. Book. Back over. Cool. Oh, I see. The messages that I receive will be dick pics. I'm not a woman on the internet. Not bad. Certainly a drinkable wine. Okay, so let's figure out what we need to do. We have created a behavior where you click a button to generate a resource. Yep. Excellent. Good. Team, we are doing a good job with this. Hey. Hey. Are you squawking? Okay, so we want to be able to purchase an auto generator that generates 1 resource per second. So the first thing we're going to do is purchase a thing. Cost 25. Add. Sure. Like, you know, whatever. And the thing that we are purchasing is an auto generator that generates 1 resource per second. I'm going to do that after. But I think that's next in my backlog. So first is I want to be able to purchase a thing. So I need another button. So go to Canvas UI button. Okay, good. And the text on that button is going to say, what is it going to be? This is going to be a cookie clicker indie game. The first game that you can make in this indie game clicker is a cookie clicker game. So buy cookie clicker game. Good. Now I would like to how do I go to there. That's what I want to do. Why is it not I did something strange. Yes, there we go. Okay, cool. So then we can take this and we can move it. Oops, that's not what I want to do. I want to move the button. What is going on? I'm selecting the canvas. Of course. Okay. Well, let's do this. It's just going to say cookie clicker game. Of course, it would be nice to append the cost to this. We'll do that later. So I'm going to put that in the backlog. Add a card. It's going to be dynamic cost of purchasables. Okay, that's another feature. We'll do that later. So first, I just want to be able to purchase a thing. So let's see, like this button, BTN, cook click. Okay. Now what's the scale of this? That's width is 160, height is 130, so yeah. And we'll do that positioning. We'll just duplicate that. There we go. So they're right next to each other. Okay, good. So now I've got two buttons. If I click play, I can increase my funds by clicking to stream game dev. I get $1 every time I stream. And then I can develop a cookie clicker game, and that's going to cost me some amount of money. So what that's going to do is it's going to be an on-click event. So cookie clicker. Yeah. Yes. So cookie clicker on click, we're going to add a thing. We are referring to the fund amount game object. We're going to run the function from the script that is decrease funds, and we're going to decrease the funds by 25. Done. Let's play. Can we do it? Interestingly, it is successful, but it shouldn't be at this point. At this point, it shouldn't work. So why is it working? I don't like it. Okay, but we've done our task. We can go here, we can make it, purchase thing, done. Now, I do want to actually debug this. Okay, so why is it allowing me to actually decrease my funds? So decrease funds, because I put it in the pseudocode. I put it in the pseudocode. If current funds is greater than fund flow, then subtract fund flow from delta funds, but I didn't put it in here. So here's what we need to do. Oops, that's not the right one. Decrease delta funds by some amount if I have the funds in current funds. So here's what we need to do. If current funds is greater than or equal to fund flow, then we do that. Done, save, F8, build it, successful, play it. Oh no, I'm not able to buy my cookie clicker game. Why not? Oh no. 26, blow. Bought one cookie clicker. Yes. And now can I buy another one? No. Okay. So we're also going to need something else. We're going to need to instantiate a list of the things that I own. Because every time I buy a cookie clicker game, it should generate $1 per second. So if I make a cookie clicker game, then, you know, people are going to download it, they're going to buy it at a rate of $1 per second. And I want to see how many I own. So really what I'd love to be able to do is I'd love to be able to see the cost of the cookie clicker game next to it. I've got some kind of text that's going to be like cookie clicker cost. And then I'm going to want to have a count for the number of cookie clicker games that I own. But already this is pretty good. I can click, I can make my numbers go up, I can buy as long as I have funds. But I can't buy unless I'm over the amount, over or equal to. Okay, so what do we do first? Now here's an interesting question, because I've got this cookie click. It's just taking this amount from here. I don't know how to set a variable in there. We might start needing to move away from using this component and move towards using a script to handle it. I think that we might need to. I'm Runiel. Yes, this is shitty mobile dev simulator, churning out cookie clickers all the time. Yep, at the cost of $25 each. Okay, so first of all, what we want to do I think I'll try this the easy way. Create text object. So this is called txt cook click and t. So this is the amount of cookie clickers. And I'm just going to say XX. It's kind of a debug thing. Oops. Yeah, okay, good. And we'll change that width to be like 30, 40. Whoops, 40, not 30, 40. Okay, good. And then we'll move it right up here. So this is the cookie clicker amount. So that needs to be over there. And then how do you duplicate a thing? Oh, that's snapping. Interesting, like that. That's not it. Is it Shift Alt? Nope, that's strange. Okay, well, I'm gonna Control Duplicate. This is cook click cost. And that's gonna be over here. So cook click amount is gonna be up here, and cook click cost is gonna be right here. And currently that's 25. It starts out costing 25. Right. That's going to be center and center. And cook click amount is also going to be center and center. Okay, so now we can see here, all right, cookie clicker game has a current cost and it currently has an amount. And I can click it and nothing happens. And there's no actual additional functionality. Blue, okay, cool. So, all right. Wonder how we can do this. Tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to do this. I'm going to create an empty game object. I'm going to call it cookie clicker game. G-O. Or G-O-B-J. Gobj. Cookie clicker game. And then I'm going to add a component, and I'm going to create a new script. I'm going to say scr cookie clicker game. We'll create and add. Okay, good. So what does the cookie clicker game do? The cookie clicker game adds funds to fund amount regularly based on the number of cookie clicker games that there are. So it needs to take in the number of cookie clicker games, and it needs to put out an amount to add to funds. And it needs to do that once a second. Okay, so we're going to open that up. So on start, it doesn't do anything. On update, how do we do it every 1 second? That's the question. Let's do it this way. So, public game object, bank account. So this is the bank account that we're sending money to, and that's going to be the fund amount text game object here. That's going to be that. Oh, you know what? This probably needs to be a text. So using Unity engine.ui. This can't be a game object. It needs to be text. Public text. Yes. Bank account. Okay. And I also need to know the number of cookie clickers there are. So Interesting. Public int num of cookie click objs. So what we want to do is like void 1 second. So we'll just like do some stuff every 1 second. Every 1 second, do some stuff. So it'll be like, I mean, this is just going to be a formula. So it'll be like, bank account dot increase, something like that. Here's what I'll do. I'll declare an integer or a float. That's the revenue. And there will be some sort of formula to determine the amount of revenue, and it's going to be based on the number of cookie clicker objects, and it's going to be based on like upgrades that are applied. So I'll put in a boolean for the upgrade. So public bool, what would increase cookie clicker game object outputs? Oh, you know what? I don't want to do that. I want to like add a cat cam to my stream, to my streaming game dev. Okay, good. Yeah, so every 1 second, what I want to do is I want to like take that bank account text object, and I want to call the method. Do I need to get the method somehow from it? Bank account dot increase. What is it? Funds manager, bank account dot increase funds. And I want to send revenue as that amount. So revenue equals num of cook click objects. So like right now it's like the amount of revenue that that is generated from cookie clicker game objects is directly related to the number of cookie clicker game objects that there are. Okay, so I'll save that. I'll hit F8. It builds successfully. Oh, nope, nope. Type or namespace definition or end of file expected. Ah, I have one extra close parentheses. I don't need that. Save it, F8. Okay, and Unity engine.ui.text does not contain a definition for increase funds, and no extension method increase funds accepting a first argument of type Unity engine.ui.text could be found. Are you trying to do something? What are you trying to say here? Are you missing a using directive or an assess? I wish I could actually read what that was saying. Can I? No, I can't. That's strange. You'll need a get component before calling the method. Okay, let's find out about get component. C# get component. I misspelled component. Unity get component. How to use the get component function to address properties of other scripts or components in C#. Void awake, get component, another script. Get another script, get another other object dot get component, yet another script. Okay, that's lovely. I like all of that. Get another script, yet another script. Let's search here. Oh, well, we'll just duplicate this tab. So we'll lose my place, get component. Tell me more. What? Why is it not here? Controlling game objects using components. Get component rigid body. Get component. So what? I want to get component script. Finding child objects, finding objects by name or tag. I think I just need to like mess around with it a bit. Yeah, okay, so interesting. Get component. Script. Scriptable object. Script funds manager. Now that's going to cause me an error because it's not a text object, is it? Cannot convert method group get component to non-delegate type. Right. So you would get component script name. But is it just the script name? Like, here, let's do this. And then I'll be like, a bank account manager. Get component SCR funds manager. Save. So how do we do that? Get component probably doesn't work at yeah, variable initialization time. Well, let's give that a try. Okay, bank account manager does not exist. So what? Scriptable object. Try that and then F8. Nope, can't convert get component. Okay, I need to read more about get component. Assessing components. I don't like that it's got a video that I need to watch. I want to just read about it. Get component. There we go. Returns the component of type if the game object has one attached, null if it doesn't. Hinge joint, hinge equals get component. So is script a type? What are the types? Classes. Scriptable object. Class you can derive from if you want to create objects that don't need to be attached to game objects. So what is the type of a script that's attached to a game object? So I'm trying to get component, right? And the component that I'm trying to get is script. I can just make a variable of type scr underscore funds manager. As is our type, the variable you want is scr funds manager, bank manager, then get component, then gets called in a method later to initialize it. Awesome. That was kind of the conclusion I was slowly working my way towards. So that sounds wild. So scr funds manager. Yep. Okay, cool. And then save. Build 2 errors. What? Cannot convert method group get component to non-delegate group. Oh, wait. Here's what I need to do. Bank account dot get component. Why is that not working? Oh my God. Moth, did you try turning it off and on again or blowing in the cartridge? So this is the pace of games development. You find problems at every turn. Bank account manager, which is right here. That's right there. Which is a script funds manager type. I'm not calling the method, I'm missing a parentheses. Like that? Holy shit. Goostorn and Wolferay, you're both totally right. The get component is a method, you're missing the parentheses at the end. Okay, good, wonderful. Now, I've got bank account manager, and I want to bank account manager dot increase funds revenue. Unity Engine UI.text does not contain a definition for increase funds, and no extension method increase funds accepting a first argument of type, etc., etc., etc. Ah, it's successful. Okay. So now, let me see what I've got. I've got some sort of public game object, which is of the text type. It's a text game object. Then that gets stored into bank account. And then I take bank account and I get the component script funds manager from it. So that is the script that's attached to the text object in Unity. So let's pull this up. This is a little bit complex in terms of what is pointing to what. All right, so we've got bank account manager, which is a script funds manager game object. We've got the text bank account game object. So that's the bank account that I'm sending funds to. That is also the text fund amount. So I'm gonna do this. I'm just gonna make them be the exact same name, because then I know exactly what things need to be. Okay, so we've got text fund amount, and that's going to be it's going to be a component that's just assigned to this script under this game object, cookie clicker game. And then we've got the script funds manager, which we're calling bank account manager. Cool. And then we have the number of cookie clicker objects, which currently we're not doing anything with, but we will do something with it later. Okay, we're not doing anything on start. We're not doing anything on update yet. We might do something on update later. Every 1 second, we wanted to do some stuff. We want to add revenue based on some stuff. Okay, good. So we're going to figure out what the stuff is that we want to do to add revenue later. So here we are get the scr funds manager component from txt fund amt and to store it in the bank account manager variable. Revenue is just a straight number of cookie clicker objects. We're going to set this to equals 1 right now, so that right now it's just 1. Okay, and then we go to bank account manager, which is the script that's attached to text fund amount. That's this one right here. And we call the increase funds method passing the revenue variable. So if we remember over here, increase funds takes a float and we call it fund flow here. So as soon as that revenue variable gets passed over into this method, it turns into a variable called fund flow. So we got these two boxes, one called revenue, and there's a 1 in revenue. We take the 1 out of revenue and we put it into fund flow. Then we add fund flow into delta funds, and then every frame we're checking delta funds. If there's something more than 0, we update text. Great. Someone's saying, please make font bigger. Yeah, I can do this. Okay, cool. That should be a little bit easier for y'all to read. All right, that's good. This is all good. I think we are closing in on what we want to be doing. So number of cookie clickers, num of what? What is this? Num of cookie click objects. We're gonna just have that be 1. Bank account. What? Bank account? Come on. Yeah, so F8. I'm gonna build it so that all the things are named right. Okay. Text fund amount. Yep, we take this text object and we drag it under there. That's the text. Bank account manager, none, script funds manager. That doesn't actually need to be public, so I'm gonna make it not public. Because that is just, it's derived. So I'll just make a note. This is derived using the get component method. This is derived from txt fund_ant using the get component method. Good. Hi, geeks. So sweet. Okay. That's good. That's all good. Oh, I know, Kizka. What's going on here? Why is that off the screen? I don't like that. That's because I changed the size of this. Okay, so like game object, cookie clicker game. So this is kind of like a general tracker, actually. So what we can do is we can just keep this. We can just keep this here. Let's pull this out, actually. So we're gonna make an empty game object, create empty, and we're just gonna call it all revenue generators. So cookie clicker game is a revenue generator. Currently there's 0 of them, so currently there's nothing. Okay, cool. So yep. We've got cookie clicker game. Yep, come on up. Let's go. That is going to be 0. So at the beginning of the game, there are 0 cookie click objects. And we also want a method void increment cookie increment num of cook click objects. So that's a bit long, but you know, the name is explicit. It tells us exactly what we want to do. So num of cook click objs ++. Blow. So every time that we purchase a cookie clicker object, we click the cook click button. We are going to increment the number of cookie clicker objects. And that's going to increase our revenue because our revenue is directly one-to-one related to the number of cookie clicker objects that there are. Robrito 1640 is asking, hi Steven, may I ask what IDE this is? I think IDE means the sort of code editor. Let me Google that. Integrated Development Environment. This is MonoDevelop, which comes bundled with Unity. So it's very easy to get into and use. Okay, cool. So, and now we have this cookie clicker amount that we can actually, we can begin updating based on the number of cookie clickers that we've purchased. But I don't want to do that just yet. I'm getting ahead of myself. We're focused on making a cookie clicker game object that is actually going to update text fund amount every 1 second. So Unity, do something every X seconds. let's find out how we do that. Execute code every X second with update. So I want to call a block of code every some number of seconds using update, assuming this is the best way to do it, but it tends to run on an average, every some other amount. So cool. I think what we're going to be doing is we're going to be taking invoke repeating. It's designed to do exactly this. Alternatively, if you particularly want to do it in update, you could change your code to mark the next event time rather than accumulating the delta time. Void update. If time.time is greater than the next action time, then next action time plus equals period, execute block of code here. This does not work, time.time, blah, blah, blah. Okay, well, let's see what invoke repeating does. Invoke repeating invokes the method name in time seconds, then repeatedly every repeat rate seconds. So interesting. So on start, I can invoke repeating 1 second. And I want it to run in the first second and then every 1 second. So I'll just say 1 and 1. Okay, I think I know how we can do this. Good, 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 good. So in the start, invoke repeating. And we want increment num of click. No. 1 second. Comma 1, comma 1. Done. Save it. Build it. Okay. Beautiful. So I think at this point this should work. So I can't do anything. Nothing happens. I don't get current funds. But if I go to 25, then I can click. Crap. It's because I'm not incrementing the number of cookie clickers. So here, I also need to do another thing. I need to add runtime only, object, cookie clicker game object, script. I need that to be public. So public void increment num of cookie click objects. F8, build it. Beautiful. Okay. Increment number of cookie click objects. Okay, so we decrease the funds and we add 1 cookie click object. Okay, this is totally gonna work. Are y'all ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16, blah, 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 blah. Cookie clicker game. I love it. Let's buy more. Yep, look at that. Look at that. We've made our first cookie clicker game, boys. EGD Phoenix spots a bug. Funds won't be deducted by hitting cookie clicker game object if you don't have enough, but you still get a new cookie clicker game object. You're right. You are right. And there's no way here to add any if statements. This is why this feels weird, right? Like this being in pseudocode and drag and drop, that causes problems. Okay. So like, for example, I can just click this and just get a whole bunch of cookie clicker objects. Yep. Yeah, I think I need to actually write a script for this button. We're not going to do that here tonight because it's getting a little bit late. It's about 10 o'clock here on the eastern coast of Canada, and I do have work tomorrow morning. So I am going to turn in. I'll hang out for a little bit, for like another 7 minutes or whatever. What I need to do to refactor this is I need to create a script for the cookie clicker button that actually does the things that it needs to do. So I would just empty out this onClick segment and add a new script component that calls the onClick thing. So I'll put that in my Trello so that next time we start, I'll remember that. So refactor, let's see, button cook click. Refactor button cook click to handle the click in a custom script. And with what we want to get rid of is eliminate bug where num of cook click objects is incremented without paying the cost. Good. What? Why did it? Yes, good. Add that. I'm gonna move that up. Okay, so we are getting really close to like some good stuff. So we're storing the resource count. We have a UI button that generates one resource. We have the behavior that we can click a button to generate one resource. Good. We can purchase a thing. And we also made it so that the thing that you purchase auto-generates one resource per second. Cool. So we've done a lot. We've done a good job this evening. Cool. Yep, I'm gonna flip over to the full screen, and then we'll hang out for a little bit. What was it I was doing? Witcher 2 Q&A. That's the scene that I'm using. Ah, Markatron 2K. Hey, thanks for coming around and hanging out in my game dev stream. OMG full screen. What's the website or program I'm using for managing what I need to do? This is called Trello, Trello.com. It's convenient. 5 minutes left. Time to set up Steam Greenlight. So now, like, you know, you can see how feasible game development is, right? It takes a lot of time, obviously. I mean, I've spent 4 hours trying to make a cookie clicker game so far, and it's things. It's a challenge. There's time to do. Midwest VG says, so you seem to have a good understanding of basic programming. Do you have a background in that? I took some programming classes at college when I went to UNC Chapel Hill. And then my first job for Funcom, my first design job for Funcom, I worked in QA for 3 years at Funcom, North Carolina. And then they were going to shut down the North Carolina office and move everybody to Montreal because there's tax credits for having a development studio in Montreal. So they offered me the chance to move up here. And so I did. And as soon as I got up here, I applied for a design job as a dungeon designer on The Secret World. They liked my designs enough to give me a shot at it. And that was very, very heavily scripting based. I had to be scripting behavior for the dungeons in The Secret World. So I did Hell 1, which was Hell Raised, Hell Raised, and Hell 3, which was Hell Fallen. No, Hell Eternal. Hell Fallen was Hell 2. I also did a couple of like the seasonal bosses, and after launch I managed the content team on The Secret World for a while. But all of that was very serious visual scripting, where it's like lots of like flow diagrams. Almost like the scripts that I wrote in there almost looked like this. That was the... Oh god, you can't see it. Hang on, let me flip over to the scene. The scripts that I wrote for Funcom almost looked like this. Why aren't you seeing it? Yeah, they almost looked like that. So that's how I got started sort of with logic. And that gave me enough background to be able to start doing basic scripting. Steeler Shock, thank you for hanging out for a while. I appreciate you coming to my chat and checking me out, doing some game development. Danky Kang 3, glad you came back. I'm actually getting ready to turn it in. But I'll take this and I'll cut it up and I'll put it up on YouTube. Soulfolia, unrelated to game dev specifically, but you seem to be pretty goal-oriented. Do you use any sort of tracking system for personal or professional goals? No, not really. But it's an interesting idea. I think you could use Trello for that very easily. I suppose I kind of am goal-oriented. I enjoy being able to achieve what I set out to do, and, you know, that gives me a feeling of happiness inside of me to be productive and to be able to accomplish the things that I've set ahead for myself. Oh man, Markatron 2K is going to draw the Manticore in West Marches and is asking, would I mind having my face approximated on it, or is it too on the nose? I wouldn't mind at all, Markatron 2K. If you think it's appropriate, then that sounds fantastic. Adam is asking, can you make a West Marches cookie clicker called Corpuscle Clicker? Ha 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 ha. Midwest VG says, dude, you do so much, I don't know how you do it. I'm impressed that you can see that. I mean, I do role-playing, and generally, like, if I have a show that I run, I prepare for that show on another night of the week. Or if it's like a Saturday show, I'm usually preparing Saturday morning. So that's usually like 2 evenings, and then I'll go out with friends on another evening, and I'll stream every once in a while on some other evenings, stuff like that. Someone else asked a really interesting question up above, and I got distracted. What's my degree in? My degree is in music. I'm a classically trained opera singer, tenor, light lyric tenor. Pinyo's asking, what did my portfolio consist of before applying to Funcom? And it consisted of nothing, because when I applied for Funcom, I applied for a QA job. And I worked over summers in North Carolina at Red Storm Entertainment, who are based out of Morrisville, North Carolina, as a quality assurance guy. And so I had enough quality assurance experience on my resume that Funcom was willing to hire me as a QA guy right away. Miss Bat Attack, the stream's over because I have to go to bed. Yes, Doronamo was asking, do I have a streaming schedule or is it just whenever? It's kind of just whenever, but I always tweet about it. So if you follow me on Twitter, at Silent Osiris, the O is a 0, just like above in my Twitch channel here, you'll be able to see when I'm going live, but it's kind of whenever. But I also upload everything to YouTube, so you can find my entertainment loaded onto YouTube/Silent Osiris as well. Same address everywhere. Pinyo is asking, I think about 6 months back you mentioned on Twitter you were working on a project with some friends in Unreal 4. Can you talk about that at all now? There's nothing to talk about. I mean, like, the thing about private game dev is that projects get started and then abandoned all the time. So, like, we are no longer working on that project at the moment. It was just, like, I was making a little procedural level generator that would take, like, empty boxes and stack them in a 3D sort of room tree. I got pretty advanced on that, but the rest of it didn't come through. That's okay. Yes, Ploter98, this stream will be on YouTube. I will process it and upload it. Probably not until tomorrow evening, but yeah, it will. All right, y'all. I'm gonna call it a night. I've got the hiccups from my wine. So rather than sit on stream and hiccup a whole lot in front of y'all, I'm gonna head to bed. Oh shit. So thank you all for coming out and watching me stumble around in Unity some more. We're making some good progress. I'm learning some really valuable things for like working in Unity, so that's really great that I'm learning those things. Those of you in chat who were helping me, I totally forgot the names of the people who were just constantly spouting off ideas and throwing help to me. But thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Even though some people call it backseat programming, it's a huge help. It's really valuable. So thank you for hanging around and helping me with my games development. Keep an eye on my Twitter. I will probably be streaming more over this week. I don't have any roleplay shows in the evening this week, so I'll probably be doing this again, like maybe Wednesday night or something like that. So have a wonderful evening, and I hope to see all of you lovely folks later when I stream more games development. Cheers to you all.